Thank you, brother.
Aw.
Lubricate the vocal cords. Hey, it's Tyler here, a.k.a. Elk, again with my good friend, my wrestling brother, Randy Casey, also known as Dr. Wreckingball. And we're reaching back into the vault of Elk's career, of Wreckingball's career, to show you pro wrestling matches that maybe you missed, or give you a little bit more insights into the matches that maybe you've already seen. So today we have a very special episode. Randy, will you tell the people about this episode?
Of course, Tyler, today joining us once again, the professor himself, the pro wrestling producing, the ring announcing, commentating, trainer of the stars himself, Professor Priest Dave Harbison. Thank you so much once again for being on another wrestling commentaries with us.
Oh, much appreciated, gentlemen. And something I'm always looking forward to is getting to shoot the breeze with a couple of fellow grapplemen, and we get to watch a match and break it down and get real deep. And this is going to be a good one today, boys.
Yes, exactly. We're going to be taking a look at Elk versus Dragon Greed from Clash Wrestling All Out War 2018. Dragon Greed, one of my good friends, we were in the same training class together. I remember meeting him in person, and it's going to be a great seeing these two big hosses go at it in a big hoss fight. I always love one of those.
So this is another match in the long history of Elk versus Dragon Greed. I wrestle Dragon so often, it seems, and it's always so much fun because Dragon's one of the, like, look at him. He's got a cigar in his mouth. The way he talks to the fans, he gets so much heat. Putting the coat on the referee's head, like, that's such a Dragon thing to do. He's so fun to work with. The only negative thing about working with Dragon is that you know that you are going to be leaving the ring with some bumps and bruises.
Yes,
it's very intense.
He's a hard hat, lunch pail, going to work kind of guy. But one of my favorite matches I ever had in my whole career was with Dragon. Top 3 match I had with Dragon. He's such a good heel, and he's easy to play off of. I mean, like I say, wrestling is reacting, so you just react off a Dragon. Right there out the gates, the big spear. We got a new champ. Oh, this is the title 2. Oh, and Elk with the big spear, almost putting him away. And I love the hot start here with you and Dragon coming right out of the gate with the big spear.
For bigger matches, I do like the hot start like that. I think where I first started seeing it, because I'm always was so used to tie up, do the shine, whatever, cut off, blah. It was John Cena, watching John Cena matches, because I think this is 2018, so John Cena right before this, where they would just come out and they would boom, finisher, finisher, finisher. Mm-hmm. And, like, that's how they would start their matches. I don't necessarily think you should start that way, but I definitely took influence from it.
Yeah, it's good to mix it up. It's funny you say that, because there was a match I had in 2010 where talking about it, I'm like, every match on the show's gonna start with a lockup. Like, why don't we start with, like, going to lock up, like, kick to the gut and hit me with, like, a quick DDT or something, and take the advantage right there, and then exchange some big moves first, and then retire, and then you can go to the holds and bring them back with some more big moves. So just mixing up the formula. And at this point in your career, I mean, like, that's where you learn, like, the 7-step match is the most bastardized thing in pro wrestling. So yeah, starting with a big spear, going into your shine from it, I dig it. Mix it up. It's psychology at the end of the day, but there's no set reason that painting by numbers on how you're supposed to have a wrestling match. You're supposed to simulate a fight, and then we've seen many of real fights end within the first 10 seconds from a big shot and a big move. That's why I think Brock Lesnar was so entertaining too, because he was different.
Yes.
And 100%. A lot of his matches started right out of the gate like that.
And this is me trying to get ahead of Dragon, putting some welts on my back. Yeah, like I said, you gotta bring when you're wrestling Dragon, you gotta bring your lunch pail. He is going to make you work, and it's good. He brings the best out of you because of it. Yeah.
He's charging in, he's got the big foot right in the chiclet.
One of the hardest things for me is acting. Like, I don't like to act. If I have to pretend, like, I don't enjoy that. It's very difficult for me. So when you work with a guy like Dragon, it hurts, but not in a way that I can't perform. You know what I mean? So it's perfect. Like the way to sell with him, it like for me anyway, the way that I do it, it's perfect because it hurts enough that I can sell that it hurts, but it's not crippling me. Like he's hitting me in very, very good meaty parts of the body that aren't going to injure me.
It's more he works snug.
Yeah,
it's like he's not purposely trying to hurt you. He's protecting wrestling. He is making it look real. He is bringing authenticity to it. Like, whenever I worked with Dragon, I loved it because then I felt more comfortable. Like, all right, I can lay it back into him. Like, Dragon, like, he is like watching this. I'm like, oh my god, he's so good. So, like his selling and then getting heat, like, so good. Like, I love Dragon strikes. The only thing is, I remember like the height difference. Like Dragon is like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" probably. So when he clotheslines you, I would have to jump up a little bit so he hits me right in the chest. Because there's been so many times where I've been knocked in the jaw from a lariat from Dragon Green. So, but I love working with Dragon. I love the stiff shots.
Yeah. Well, if you've got your headphones in, you could hear some of those thumping forearms right there.
Yeah, and the thing with Dragon is it goes back to like he has such a good pace. He lets you sell. He lets you feed into him, and he's gonna deliver his stuff and make you feel it. But it's just as a heel, when Dragon's putting the heat on somebody, he's gonna get heat from it because the people really think you're hurt because they can see that he's really laying his stuff in, and I'm with you. Like I love working with Dragon. One of my favorite matches I ever had was with him. And, bad ring positioning. Come on, you're better than that, Mr. Greed.
Yeah. Well, he just scoop slammed me, which I leave my feet never. If I can, I might not have left my feet in 2019, if I'm being completely honest. But Dragon also, like, going back to it, like, I was saying how, he'll leave welts on you and stuff like that. But I trust Dragon to body slam me. Like I wouldn't trust a whole lot of other people to be able to give me a good, safe, good-looking scoop slam, but Dragon, you do. And what I love about Dragon, too, is that Elk is so big that it's always big guy versus little guy, and you kind of have to work around that story. It's a good story to tell, but when you're a baby face, it can get difficult because how do you get sympathy? When you wrestle Dragon, it's easy to believe that he manhandles Elk because he is so intense. He's a large man himself. And like, he just adds, like you kept saying, the realism. He brings that right intensity, and like it's easy to get wrapped up in a Dragon match.
There's the fire up comeback, from the shot
belly
there.
to belly.
Boom, putting him down. I remember talking after this match and being like, "Oh, you missed your fire up moment. Right there was your chance to get the people in because this was new for you." Was trying the Superman comeback.
Yes.
There's a lariat to the jaw that you talked about, Randy.
Yes. That discus lariat.
What's funny is like I remember meeting Dragon Greed day one of training at the House of Truth. I remember like the first class, it was like me, Cameron Sky, Tommy Tresnick, and Dragon. And I remember seeing Dragon, I'm like, oh my god, this guy's a real wrestler. He's gonna kick my ass. Like I remember thinking like this guy must already be in the business 10, 20 years. With it, that's the look that he had, like where you look at him and you see like, wow, that's pro wrestling.
Yeah, he looks like he's setting you up for a power bomb here, trying to get you up.
Oh.
And he gives up on it, goes for that big lariat. That's where I dislocate my thumb. I'm holding the thumb right there because when I slammed him, he landed right on my thumb knuckle, and it was dislocated. And then here's Jeremy Jones trying to get himself involved, and I'm trying to pop my thumb back in place.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see it right there with the way you guys went down, the impact on the thumb. And I mean, I had no idea watching it from the table that had happened to here's this Brownstown. Oh, no, there's a chair shot. This is no DQ. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, and there's the DQ right there. Because this was during the poster gate thing.
Wait, so he didn't get a DQ when he jabbed you in the gut with it? They had to wait till he smashed you across the spine?
Oh!
Yeah, they had to wait.
Come on. But he's laying these chair shots in, too.
Oh,
that can feel good.
God.
I hate getting... I know that we don't take shots to the head anymore, but sometimes I'd rather take a shot to the head because it hurts so much on my back. It's like I hate getting smacked. I hate it so much.
I don't know if that was a metal chair or a plastic chair.
That was a metal chair.
That was a metal chair. I think the plastic ones hurt worse because it's more like a slappy sting sound, where the metal ones just seem, I don't know, just absorb, like your body absorbs them better. From my personal history, everybody's different, but I hated getting hit with those plastic chairs. It stung.
Yep.
I remember this. Okay, so I thought you got your thumb broken from the chair shots. Because when you came backstage, I was like, oh, I thought it was from like protecting yourself. I had no idea it was from the spine buster. Wow, like I learned something new today. Like, wow. Like,
yeah, so I went for that. I called that spine buster spot because against RJ City, he was supposed to, it was a match probably the month before. He was supposed to jump in for a crossbody, and I was going to catch him and do the normal Slamasaurus. But the way that he jumped, I caught him on my shoulder, and I did like a spine buster. And I was like, spine buster's great. I'm going to add this to the repertoire. And then, so Dragon was the first time I tried hitting it, called in a match. When I did it, the way that I landed, the way that he landed, it was right on my thumb. Boom, popped it. It was bent, the wrong way. So I had to grab it, and I'm trying to jam it back in. And then from then on, I was like, never again will I do a spine buster. So that was another match between Elk and Dragon. I can't say enough good things about Dragon. He's so fun to work with. Yeah, the only thing that I would change about that match is a little bit more fire out of Elk, but, that's what we always say. And not dislocating my thumb. If I could avoid that, that match would have been one of my favorites, I think.
I for some reason don't remember. I remember the angles, you and Jeremy. I remember this match. I don't remember it having a DQ finish. For some reason, I thought it got like I don't know. I thought Dragon won with a chair shot or something, or it got restarted. And I'm trying to remember why we booked it that way to where you won via the disqualification. Because this was early on in the show too, right?
Yep.
Like one of the first matches on the show. It might have been the opening of the show. Who booked that shit?
Well, I think doesn't this lead to him winning the All Out War? So it's like he's got he could have lost this match, right? It looked like he had a disadvantage going into the All Out War match, and then he could have overcame odds.
I think that match was to see who's going to be first or last in All Out War. Mm-hmm. And I think that obviously the backstage, the people booking the match were like, well, we're not going to be able to have Elk go from first to the end. So we got to figure out how to tell the same story, but get them in a little bit later.
I like that match. I like the hard-hitting style of you two guys going at it. I think fun match, progressive story of Postergate with Jeremy Jones. And I can't even tell that you broke your thumb. So like that's nuts, and that you're able to keep going with that kind of injury.
Yeah, it's the thing with as we talked about Dragon in that match, and what I liked the most about the match was when you're nearing the finish and he's looking to get you for the power bomb, but he's trying to figure out how he can get you. You're too big, so he's going to try to abandon all hope, and that's when he goes to the big clothesline, which leads to your spine buster. And those are little nuances in a match that get so overlooked, but it's so important to the context of the story. And that he's got your stuff between his legs. He's looking for the power bomb. He can't get it. But during that whole time, you're able to recover. You're able to get some energy back. So then he goes, okay, I'm going to take his head off with a clothesline. And then, he backs up. He's going to his, the backup plan B. He's lining up. He goes, he spins, he throws it. You duck and, catch him with the big slam, jam your thumb or break your thumb. But, I think that's something that it's a story of the match where when it's happening, the fans can understand what's happening. And it's like, okay, Dragon's got this guy, he can't get him, so he's going to look to do something else. And of course you counter it. I thought Jeremy might have hit the ring a little too soon there, in hindsight, being 2020. But I thought you maybe hit the spine buster. Yeah, you're looking at your thumb, and I felt like Jeremy was right there. Didn't let it register enough with what happened. But I loved that spot, and I loved that was how you guys took it home, which led to the DQ. I thought it built to that nicely.
Yeah, I think there's a few people, because I know usually when I have questions, I'll either go to you or I'll go to Keith. Keith's usually busy, so usually Matthew Priest gets a lot of input into Elk's matches. So I'm sure that you had a lot to do with that spot as well. So that was great. That was another match from the vault. Elk versus Dragon Greed. If you want to see more matches, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Matthew Priest, always a pleasure to pick your brain on pro wrestling. And where can the people find you to see more stuff that you have to say about pro wrestling?
Thanks a lot for the plug there, and that is Ramblings of a Grappleman. Grapple, and then with man. Not men, man, just singular. M-A-N on the end. Matthew _Priest on Twitter and Instagram. 1T and Matthew. And Ramblings of a Grappleman is a podcast where I do a little deep dive on a specific topic in the world of pro wrestling, whatever is on my mind and eating at me at the time. So there's really not much of a idea of what I'm going to talk about next, because it's usually with whatever pops in my head, and that's what triggers me to record. So thanks for checking that out. Look forward to all the feedback. It's still new and fresh, and I always look forward to that. So thank you, and thank you to the three wise guys. I should say the three wise men who have the addition of good old Randy here with the crew now. It's always, you guys are always pumping out great content. I always look forward to it. And watch just about everything I possibly can. So it's always entertaining, and it's always appreciated when you guys have me on and involved. So thank you.
No, awesome. Anytime. No, I love like picking your brain and just getting to talk wrestling with you. Like anytime I can. Like, no, thanks for all the kind words. And we definitely got to have him back on, right, Tyler?
Oh, I think so.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Until
next time. Make sure that you stay safe out there in the world and watch some wrestling, gosh darn it.
Put your fist up. Bam. Then you just go headbutt.
Oh, shit.